Yeah, give people a chance to take a drink or something.
진복 씨.
또 드라마에서 나온 거지.
Okay, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I noticed that quite a few people joined us. In particular, I noticed that Jewel Conk is online. Am I correct? Okay, there you go.
야, 그거 좀 풀어봐, 빨리. 야, 핸드폰 좀 그만하고 거기서 알아서 하지.
So there you go. Our fearless Xian An is there. I think Xian Kung is there too, right?
안 켜지는데? 됐다. Hello.
Hello, yeah, we can hear you barely. Thank you.
This works.
Increase the volume a little bit. It would help.
Okay. Let me see. Hello. 여기 인풋 볼륨. Hello.
Yeah, put it close to your mouth. It's easier. It's louder that way. There you go. Thank you.
Mic test. Wow.
Okay, look at that. Hey, folks, look at that. You know, that's a view of our jewel conch. Chan Yuan, the Chan, how do you call that in English? Chan Yuan. How do you say that in English? Anyone know? Chan,
Center. Sun center?
Chan Garden?
질문할 때 이걸 하면 돼.
Okay. Hey, how about a quick tour of that nice Chan Yuan there in Jewel Conch? Huh?
Oh.
Can we do that?
뽑아요? 아니, 뽑지 마. 뭐 하는 거예요? 보여주는 거예요? 안 나와.
Look at that. The kids are even in full lotus.
잘 보세요. 저 아이들 좀.
They're raising chicklets at Jewel Conch or what? I hear the small chicken making noises. Or is it Rushu's kids? Look at that. You know, if you get your children to sit in full lotus, it is an incredible gift giving to them. It's something, a skill that they can go back to and use the rest of their lives. Yes.
그거 많이
Yeah, please bear with us. This is the first time that we have Jewel Conk online. Oh, look at that. That's a big Chan hall there. Almost full with 2 people, 2 adults. Ah, look at that. Very nice. Okay. There you go. Very nice. That's it? Wow, that's a very extensive tour of the facility. And then this is the kitchen, I imagine, dining area, and tea station. So the Venerable Sunim left everything for you, huh? How nice of him. And the kitchen. That's a kimchi fridge, I guess. Yeah, kimchi fridge. That's a washer and dryer. Huh? And dining area. Oh, and it's a nice, small and compact kitchen.
Venerable Shan, can you do it slowly?
Oh, is she
Slower,
doing by hand,
slow
or is
down
she
a little
using the drone there? Seems like
Looks like
it's
she's
the
trying
speed
to
of a
control
drone.
it.
Yes. Hey, you notice something? I noticed that Xian Kung looks happy. She's smiling, actually. It's a very nice. It's a very nicely furnished and very nicely modeled, huh? Very nice setup. All right. Excellent. Wei Mountain has a question. Go ahead, Wei Mountain.
Can we get those lamp light from the jewel conch to Wei Mountain Temple? The top light looks very beautiful.
Yeah, those are lotus lights. It's very Korean. Venerable Sangwook, is it a good idea to have it at Wei Mountain Temple? You Korean Sunim, is it a good idea? I'm open to suggestions. They're very nice. They look very nice.
We could do it downstairs when we have a new Chan hall in the lower area.
Excuse me?
We could do that.
In the
Chan hall, the new Chan hall downstairs.
in the basement? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we could do that there. It has a flat
But
ceiling.
it's a Chan Ho Xian Jie. Chan
we
Ho is
don't
supposed to
need-
be barren. There's nothing in it. Okay? Traditionally, the Chan Ho in China, barren. There's nothing. It's empty, so that it helps you empty your mind, so that you're not distracted visually by things at all. So that's why traditionally Chan Ho are very, very, very Spartan. It's nothing whatsoever. At best, you have in Chan Ho, you have some sort of image of Bodhisattva, of Bodhidharma, and that's about it. Yeah. All right, that's the Chinese tradition. The Chinese, the Chan we inherited is from the Chinese patriarchs. I learned it I copied it from my late Chinese master. It's a lot more unimpressive than it sounds, because I learned it secondhand. I was never able to sit in his Chan practice at all, because by the time I joined, I became a novice. He was basically on his way out. He was dying, so he wasn't doing anything anymore. He was sitting in a wheelchair and doing kidney, dialysis. He had a kidney failure, so he was doing a dialysis 2 or 3 times a week. And so his body was in great, great pain. And so I learned from my late Chinese master, Master YongHua, one of the greatest Chan, Chan patriarchs of recent times. His level is far higher than Master Xu Yun. Okay, so he is not surprising that he was chosen to bring Mahayana from China to the U.S. It's a monumental task. So that's why a lot of his disciples had to come to the United States first and wait for him to come, and then they supported him accordingly. So his Heng disciples, many of them are his longtime disciples. Okay, they're very loyal and follow him, and they understand his Dharma very, very well. So what I learned from Master YongHua's Chan Dharma is basically I never was able to be there physically with him. So it's one of the biggest regrets in my life that I came here to the United States in the 1973-74, and Master YongHua was here already. I never really underwent training with him at all. It's a tragedy for me personally not to be able to do that. So what I learned is from secondhand. I learned from the videos, from the tapes, and from how his students recalled what he taught and so forth. So it is a lot of things I don't understand. I had to figure out myself. But unfortunately, that's all you have. At least I talk about it. Okay, no, because I'm a curious person. I always wondered, for example, when I first started teaching Chan, because my late teacher, Master YongHua, told me to do so. So I started teaching Chan because I didn't have a place to teach. So I taught from the living room of my brother's house. Okay, he gave me a room in order for me to do my Chan, to practice my Chan. And then when I was supposed to start teaching, I chose to teach Chan. Because when you teach Chan, you basically can teach anywhere. You don't need anything. So I taught in his living room for a few months. And so I had to figure things out myself. So one of the questions I've always had is that in Buddhism, Buddhism is about the 3 studies.
근데 스피커가 없어. 그럼 스피커를 하나 사야 되네. 한국어 전용 컴퓨터 틀고.
Okay. In Buddhism, Buddhism is about the 3 studies. The studies of the precepts or morality, of samadhi, and of wisdom. That's what, if you learn Buddhism, you're supposed to gain benefits among those areas in terms of becoming more moral person, becoming, developing your concentration, your samadhi, and then opening your wisdom. All right? So I always wondered when I started teaching, I wondered because my master simply said, my teacher simply said, teach, you should teach, and that's about it. That's how he teaches us, by the way. It's very Wei-Yang too. That is, that's a nature of Wei-Yang instruction, okay? That's sort of baffling. It's sort of Chinese, very Chinese in that sense. You should feel so fortunate that you told what to do. Does it make sense to you? Okay. So that's why I understood over the years that he deemed that we are worthy to receive instructions. So he said, do this. That's what Chan masters, Chinese Chan masters do traditionally. You look at the great Chan masters, the Venerable Hui Neng, 6-page chart, or Ma Zu, okay, or Huang Bo, or Venerable Bai Chang, and so forth. The great Chinese masters, that's what they do. They did. They gave you instructions, and their pupils would record their instructions, and that's how we got this wealth of Chinese Chan teachings. So be cognizant of the fact that we in the West, we in the Dharma ending era, these modern times, we don't have such instructions anymore. They are either dead or we don't understand them anymore. Okay? Trust me, all he did for me to get me involved in this for the last 15 years is give me one instruction: you should teach Chan, period. And that's very, very Wei-Yang. Okay? In the U.S., it's not gonna do it for us because we need more. We need to know more, and it has to make sense to us. No, this is, folks, this is so Chinese Chan. This is so superior Chan. This is this Chan secret. Okay, if you give the instructions, and if you have the blessings, you choose to do it yourself. Then you understand why the instruction is such. And that's very Wei-Yang, okay? The Wei-Yang is the higher form of Chan training. That's why it requires even more blessings for you to be able to decide for yourself that you're going to follow instruction, execute the instructions, okay? For example, Xian En, when she's here, Xian En in Jewel Mountain Temple, when she was here for 3 months, and she progressed very quickly. For 3 months, she reached the formless realm samadhis, which is impressive for a lady of her age. How old are you, Xian En? How old? 90? 90. I can't see her fingers very well. Excuse me, it's not my fault. Okay, so 90 years old, right? For a person of her age, 90 years old, they don't learn anymore. They don't listen to directions anymore. Okay, so it's a real challenge. Okay, but somehow she chose for 3 months. She chose to follow instruction, do what others do, and that's why she progressed very, very quickly in our environment. Okay, so that's that. And then, so before she left, when she came back, I said, "I'm going to give you more instruction to reach it. I need you to reach beyond the formless realm samadhi. Otherwise, you you won't be as useful to me, okay, to us. So I gave her instructions, and lo and behold, she went back to Korea, and it's very difficult to follow the instructions. Okay, so even though you're given instructions, you don't necessarily have the ability to execute. Okay, so anyway, so be very, very, very aware that to receive instruction from a Chan master is extremely, extremely invaluable. Okay, so we have the set of instructions that we learn from the great Chinese patriarchs, and that taught us the Wei-Yang lineage style of Chan practice. Okay, so anyway, so we have the Chan practices that the Chinese patriarch gave us to the form of these succinct, very short instructions. That's how Master GFCMC taught me, by the way. Same thing. Yeah. When the sixth patriarch taught me, the same thing. It's very Chinese. The lesson is very, very short, very, very fast. It's not like a lecture for 1 hour, 2 hours, and 3 hours, a whole dissertation. It's just boom, done. Okay, and so I didn't have, honestly speaking, I didn't have the proper training, if you will. I had to figure a lot of things out myself, like my teacher, Chinese teacher, more or less forced me to do. Okay, in order to continue to do this, I need to be able to understand why they're doing it. So for years, I wondered. When I first started, I wondered, why is that? Mahayana, or Buddhism, is about morality, samadhi, and wisdom. And why do I teach Chan only? So it seems like you only teach one of the three things. I'm looking at the camera here on our Buddha hall, and for it to stand, it has 3 legs, a tripod. Okay? Why is it I'm teaching you only one leg and ignoring the other 2? If that's the case, how can we possibly teach you the essence of Chan? Okay, so I wonder about that for a long time, and it's so typical. The Chinese, they do it that way, and so I had to do it that way. I did it long enough to finally say, that's why. Okay, and I don't see that being done anymore, like because I just don't see, because this is the Chinese way, the Chinese patriarch's way of training us, is to point us the way, the Wei-Yang. Training is they point us the direction, and then they give instructions. Go that way, and do this. Okay, and that's the nature of Wei-Yang instructions. It's so cool. Because think about it, for us Westerners in our modern times, we expect do this because so and so, so and so. That's called selling it. But the Chan patriarch said, do this. And if you believe, you do it, then you understand why. It's so Chan. Does it make sense? So trust me, it's an honor and privilege to be able to receive the instruction, to be deemed worthy enough for them to say, do this, do that. All right? Because that's all the Master GFCMC did for me. He says, do this, do that 5 times. In my entire last 25 years, he did it 5 times with me. That's it. No more. Okay? Because I'm stupid. Okay? I'm too stupid, that's all. He had to do it 5 times. Okay? Whereas in our Wei-Yang lineage, in order for people to become enlightened. Sometimes the Chan master just say, do this, and they eventually become enlightened, or they become enlightened right away. All right? So it's kind of interesting. So why do we teach Chan? If we keep on teaching Chan that way, so what I did is I imitated Master Hsuan Hua's way of teaching Chan. Okay, because I didn't know how, so I might as well follow what the experts did. So we followed it. And I still have this question. I wished that his disciples would have told us, would have asked him, why is it we only teach Chan? We don't explain them about precepts, we don't explain them about wisdom and so forth. Okay, but over the years, I finally understood why. Okay. So that's an introduction as to would you like me to tell you, or you're not interested? Boy, everyone wants to hear. I can see in your eyes. Yeah. Here's the nature of the training when we teach Chan. Okay, let me remind you again. Chan is basically, when you practice Chan, there's only one purpose. The purpose of practicing Chan is to increase your samadhi, your concentration, period. That's the purpose. Okay? So if you increase your concentration, then your Chan practice is well worth it. Okay? That's success. That's all there is to it, okay? In order for you to increase your concentration, your samadhi level, what do you need to do? I told you last time already, okay? If you were in China and so forth in the ancient times, or if you were practicing the Master Hsuan Hua, I wasn't, okay? I came in way too late. He accepted me, and then he died, basically. He never taught me directly. So if you practice under him, or I look at how the other Chinese great patriarchs, train the students, okay? And I notice on how my students, those of my students over the last 15 years, those who improve a lot, okay, than the others. What is a common denominator? So far, so good? And in contrast, why is it you go to a meditation class and you go regularly, you practice regularly, and your samadhi power doesn't increase? It doesn't increase at all, okay? Not much. Why is that? The difference is that for you, this is based on Mahayana teaching, by the way. I won't explain to you everything, but this is the basis of it is based on very sound Mahayana principles. For you, in order for you to practice meditation and increase your concentration, okay? That's the purpose. That's always been the purpose for us to teach you meditation. It's not for you to feel good, it's not for you to relax and so forth. Those are secondary benefits that will happen naturally if you do it right. Don't have to worry about it. Don't just sit there and say, I wish I want to meditate, I feel better, and so forth. You will naturally feel better. Don't have to worry about it, okay? So for you, in order for you to improve, okay, you need to struggle. That's the secret for the Chinese. You look at how Master Hsuan Hua, under him, when he trained his disciples, they all struggle a lot. My own disciples, they really struggle. Master Xian Jie, for example, our great white hope, I'm proud to tell you, okay? He struggled for 10 years. Am I right, Master Xian Jie?
Yes.
Do we have him at all?
Yes, yeah, it's
It's endless
ongoing.
struggles for 10 years. Am I correct?
Yeah, pretty much, yes.
What's the matter with you? How could you do it for 10 years not knowing? Just follow the instructions time and time again, and yet fail and fail and fail and fail and fail. Okay? And that is Chan training, by the way. We hardcore Chan training is that. So your progress, how quickly you progress, it depends on how much you struggle. So Master Xianjie went a long, long way for the last 10 years. Okay? Are you going to say something, Master Xianjie, or you had enough, or?
I don't know what to add to that.
Nothing to add? Oh, okay. All right. How disappointing. So my point here is that when you practice Chan and you struggle, it's a good thing. Don't complain, don't quit. Keep at it. Okay? If you do that, okay, it is our responsibility to help you overcome your struggles. That's a Chan secret, the Chinese Chan secret. You struggle long enough, your instructor, your teacher will teach you how to overcome your obstructions, your problems. And that's the wisdom part. You see that? For the Buddhists, the hardcore Buddhists, they say wisdom is about enlightenment and so forth. Let me tell you, don't buy into it. Enlightenment is no big deal. Enlightenment is the ability or the knowledge on how to fix your problems, to solve your problems. That's what wisdom is. Because enlightenment is not separate from your daily obstructions, from your daily struggles. In other words, if you're able to slug it out. You understand, Sangwoo? Slug it out meaning that you have two fighters. I'm violent. I love violence. Two fighters, they beat each other to death, okay, until one falls down. Let's go slugging. Huh? Shannon, help me out. Hey, white people, help me out. Caucasian people, help me out. How do you explain slug it out?
Absolutely right. Hit it. Just do it.
Just do it. Just
fight
hurt
it
them.
out.
Just hurt them. Just hurt them, right? Just hurt them.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you keep at it, it is your Chinese teacher's responsibility to eventually help you solve that problem. See, this is a Chinese secret that gets lost in Chinese nowadays. The Chinese Chan teachers, they're afraid to make you struggle. They're afraid that you're going to quit. If it's meant for you to quit, okay, no matter what, you're going to quit. Okay, as soon as it's a little bit hard, you're going to quit anyway, so it doesn't matter. If you don't like something and you're unhappy about something, you quit. It doesn't matter what you do, okay? It doesn't matter what we tell you to do. You're going to quit anyway. However, when you learn Chan, please remember this. When you have struggles, that's why when you struggle like that, that's when you have problems. Those problems, you will receive help to solve those problems. That's what Chan is about. And that's how you naturally develop wisdom. Questions, comments? It's a Chan secret. It's a Chinese secret. They don't explain it to us, to you, to their students. That's why now Master Shua is gone. they don't quite understand my generation. They don't quite understand why we have to make you sit in full lotus and make you do the chan chis and take the time to teach you every week and that kind of thing, and ask you to do more and more and more and more. Okay, because you're supposed to struggle. Sinan, do you hear? I gave you instructions. And you keep on failing them. And that's a good thing because you're supposed to struggle. You're supposed to not be able to do what I just told you. The instruction I gave you recently, you're not supposed to be able to do it. Is that clear? You're supposed to struggle. But if you don't struggle, you will not be able to improve. Is that clear? This is Chan, what Chan is about. This is not, if you want a pleasant Chan, go to another place. You'll be a lot happier. For us, it's hard work, it's struggle. And that's why the struggle will bring you greater joy and improvement. The improvement will be, if you improve, you look back and say, oh, it's well worth it. Every single one of my students, they all said that. It's well worth it. At least the one who's still around. Those who quit, I don't care what they think. All right? So wisdom is a natural part of Chan teaching because you naturally develop wisdom because you will either figure out how to solve your problems or we help you figure out how to solve your problems. That's number one, okay? And number two is what is the nature of wisdom of the people who have wisdom? What do they do? Okay? It's not, they don't go to the mountains and meditate until become a Buddha or something. We don't do that. It's not what we do, okay? People with wisdom, like you, haven't quit yet. Okay, meaning you have some wisdom. So far, so good. Here are the things that people, I notice that people who have wisdom do. Number one, they're kind. They're kind to people around them, to their children, to their husbands, to the wives, okay? To the co-workers and so forth, okay? It's natural. The people who have wisdom are naturally kinder. Think about it, okay? So when you practice Chan meditation and you're improving, you should see yourself become kinder, okay? And it manifests itself by you saying nice things, kind words to others. Questions, comments? Why does it feel like a Buddhist class lecture here? And I just started by saying that this is not supposed to be a lecture. It's supposed to be interactive. So quickly, so you, in your interaction with others, in your daily lives, okay, you tend to be kinder and you tend to give words, kind words and words of encouragement. That's what wise people do, okay? So as you improve, you find yourself naturally doing those things. All right? Number two, what you do with your time is really, really matters. When you have wisdom, you actually like to help others, to benefit others. How do you do that? You benefit others. Wise people like to benefit others. And how do they benefit others? When you benefit others, what is immediately should come to your mind is that to benefit others, you have to what? Take a loss. Someone has to pay the price. Might as well be you. Think about it. That's what you do all day. You know, I see, for example, in our temple, Lily, with sweet Korean lady. She serves her husband. She serves her son. She helps her people, and she invests a lot of her personal time doing that. Okay, and that's wisdom right there. You help people. Okay, Westerners, they think people are wise are the one who are winners. No, in real wisdom, the wise people are the losers. Why are you all so quiet? Jumi, say something wise. Yeah, you. Okay, she doesn't recognize her own name anymore. Korean princess. Say something. Yeah, you, that one. No microphone? No?
My house. 저한테 질문을 까먹었습니다.
Okay. Thank you, your words of wisdom. Okay.
Jane is raising her hand.
Go ahead, Jane.
I have a question, Master. I'm trying to help others, but it seems to me I'm stupid and confused between meddling and helping others. So I struggle.
Yes, I heard complaints about that. So, let me remind you, okay, there's a rule of thumb that we go by in our world. That is, do not say anything until you asked. They don't ask, you say nothing. That's how we teach in Mahayana. You have to ask the right questions before we can tell you. You ask the wrong questions, we shut up. You don't say anything, we shut up. Okay? You have to know what to ask, then we tell you. So basically, in order for you, that means in order for you to help others, okay, part of wisdom is to patiently wait to be asked. Chan, when you sit in Chan there, will increase your patience. So it show in the terms of you patiently waiting to be asked. For the last 15 years, I rarely go over and tell someone anything at all until they ask me. Okay, and that's the part of the Buddhist wisdom for people in my world where we're supposed to be teachers. Okay, and we being a teacher doesn't mean we go out there and tell, can I explain to you what this means and so forth. No, we wait. A teacher waits until they ask the right questions. Okay? Because if you speak prematurely, you are most likely risking cutting them off and losing your credibility. Let me explain to you, okay? There's no point in teaching them unless they really want to fix the problems. Until they really want to fix it, it's none of our business. That's called respect. They do the wrong thing, we still respect them. It's not until they have a problem, it's not much we can do. So we patiently wait and wait and wait. Okay? You see a problem, but they don't see a problem, there's no way to connect with them. So you wait until you can only connect to people, especially in teaching Chan, in helping people. You can only help people with the problems they ask about, not more. They have to ask, and they ask more and more, and then you tell them more. Is that clear? Until they see a problem, there's nothing you can do. You just wait. And until they tell you, until they ask you, what do you do? I just taught you. What do you do? Until your husband asks you for help, what do you do? You know your wife has a problem, a lot of problems, I might add. And you want to help her. What do you do? Same thing. If your husband has a lot of problems, what do you do? You see the students have so many problems. What do you do? You wait until they ask, yes? And until they ask, what else do you do? You can't just say nothing, do nothing. You say kind words. Don't teach them, just be kind. I know you're not impressed because you expect me to tell you to monetize it or say have something concrete I can count on, a token or something it shows and so forth. No. You just be kind to your children, you just be kind to your family members, and you wait until because they trust you so much, they appreciate your kindness. Then they said, I really like talking to you, but I have this problem. I don't know what to do. That's when you can advise them. But until then, you just be kind. That's all you do. Don't try to give them solutions because if they don't have a problem, it's nothing to solve as far as they're concerned. So our opening our mouth not being before we ask is a waste of time. We just wait. Okay? Same thing. We open the branch, a temple at Jewel Conch. Okay? What is it we do? We just open the doors and wait. Is that clear, Xian An, Xian Kong? We just wait. Okay? It's there. Just be kind and wait. Otherwise, you're simply a cheap Buddhist salesman. You don't do that. You just try to be kinder and kinder and kinder. That's all. And use kind words to encourage them. That's all. Does it help? And you use kind words, and then, of course, you help them, benefit them. Little things like in the Chinese Chan wisdom, I find it incredibly wise for them to, for example, open the Chan monastery for people to come and meditate, and then we doing what my Chinese master did is that after you sit, you go eat for free. You see? It's called beneficial practice. We benefit others. You're hungry, so how about some food for you? And What's wrong, by the way, is that my master's disciples decided, because it's fair, just like Koreans do, is that the food costs money, and you have to pay money for your lunch anyway. So why not, remind you to make a donation to the temple, right? And that's wrong, because when we ask you to make a donation, okay, then who are we benefiting, you or ourselves? And it goes counter to our Buddhist wisdom, to the Chan wisdom. We do this in order to benefit you. So this. I got this lesson because I remember my late Chinese master when he was unknown and he had a lot of students practicing under him, a lot of expenses. They ran out of money, ran out of food. They went hungry. Well, on the weekend, when people came to his monastery, his disciples, his students, recounted. They said, we didn't have food to eat. We are hungry. But whatever money we have left, we bought the groceries and cooked for our visitors, and we didn't eat much. We pretended to eat, but actually, I heard that story. I loved it. I mean, when you're hungry, you're so hungry for the whole week already, and you see food, and you smell the food, and you said, no, that's pretend to eat, but then leave the food for our visitors. That's called taking losses. That's the Chinese Chan spirit. Okay? So remember, students, okay? We don't charge for food. I don't care what the Koreans say. Okay? Okay? We don't charge for food. That's our tradition. Okay? Because we need to do beneficial practices ourselves. Don't expect them to benefit us. We benefit them. Is that clear? If you do that, and you will become enlightened down the road. Don't worry. All right? Questions and comments? Does it help, Jane? You're too anxious. You're trying to help too soon. Okay, too much. You cannot help until they ask. Until then, just help them. Just benefit them. That's all. Be kind and do things to benefit them. That's all we do. Okay. If you do that, they will ask for help. All right. So that's why. Your time is up. Okay. So that's why in this Chan practice that Master YongHua did bring to this country. That's what he taught us to teach both Chan, and in this practice here will also help you. Give wisdom to you. And so this Dharma talk here is also part of teaching wisdom to you. Okay. And finally, the third leg of the training of Chan is that, you see, so Chan, in Chan practice itself, you have samadhi and you have wisdom already. Okay. And finally, for the other part, the morality is very, very important. When you teach your children, remember this, when you teach your children, okay, one of the first things you need to teach them is what? Time is running out, so I won't have time to let you, all of you, answer, because most of you are in samadhi anyway. No one asked for anything at all except for Jane today. The one thing that all parents do when they teach their children is, don't do this. Am I right? The first thing, one of the first few things you teach them is, don't do this. That's precepts. That's morality right there. So, in other words, part of the precepts of morality is refrain from doing the wrong things that will harm you. Education, as a Westerners look at it, is wrong because education and the way they teach us in a Western educational institution is they teach you how to be successful. Okay? In Chan, we teach you to avoid making mistakes first. Okay? And that's the foundation. If you make a mistake, you will not have a strong foundation to build your struggles on. After you struggle, you need to have a foundation to go back to, okay, where you're safe. All right? When you're tired and you're exhausted, you need to have a base. Your base is actually avoid doing evil. Avoid doing bad things and do good things. That's your base. Make sense? And so when you help them, when they come to you and you offer them tea, you offer them food, you offer them a drink, and so forth, and you do things to help them, okay? Those are actually not only wisdom, but also the precepts part. You don't do bad things, you only do good things. And you help everyone. And that's the secret of a Chinese Chan. And it's unfortunately, it's not being emphasized enough, where unfortunately I feel as a Western educated person, I feel that it's not clearly communicated from a Chinese space chart to their disciples. That's why it gets lost. That's why the Chan training is not as effective as it used to be under Master Xuanhua. For example, under Master Xuanhua, a lot of his disciples achieve great accomplishments. Okay, same thing under Master Mazu, same thing under Master Wei Shan, okay, our Weiyang founder, lineage founder. Whereas later, you look at the teachers, the current teachers, they're afraid to not be as popular and lose students, and that's not. There's no need for that. Okay, time is up. Unless you have questions, we can stop here. Hello there. Someone say something, please.
Esther, I have a question.
Yes. Thank you.
My mother is dying, so I just wanted to know what mantra should I say when I'm with her on her bedside? Is there something? Just repeat the Buddha's name, or?
I'm sorry to hear that your mother is not doing well. What is the problem? What is her problem?
Pulmonary fibrosis. So her lungs are, they're just shutting down.
Shutting down. Okay. How much more time?
I think maybe a couple weeks, month.
A couple of weeks. Is she in pain? Is she in pain?
No.
No? Okay. So what do? the one concern that when you have someone who is dying, who is in agony, is to help them avoid physical pain if possible. Okay, and because the pain there, the physical pain will make them confused and would end up would be a very bad thing for them. Okay, but it is a simple fact that you should make them as comfortable as possible. And number two is the fear of impending death is very, very scary. Okay, so you should be aware of that and try to alleviate those fears. Okay, fears because the simple thing for you to do is because as your mother, you simply get the Asians. They have this thing. I don't know if you guys do that or whether you have any objection to that. They have this thing, this recitation of the Buddha's name. Okay, if you help play that to her when she's awake or when she's sleeping, will help calm her mind tremendously. Okay.
Right.
So the Taiwanese have a lot of those machines where they're free. You go to the Chinese temple, they're very nice. They have good music and orchestra and so forth that recites the Buddha's name. Okay, it's a very, very good thing. Okay, you can get those, or you can get some of our recitations, which is not as musical, not as flowery, not as impressive, but actually could be more effective in many, many cases, because the music is for ordinary people. Or when we recite, we use concentration, so it has a high level of effectiveness, much more effective for that recitation. So, do we have anything that they can download or something like that? Huh? Some kind of Buddha's name recitation. Okay. One thing you can also do is help her recite the Great Compassion Mantra. Okay, play it. Okay, when she's sleeping, would provide a lot of relief for her as well. Okay.
Great.
Yeah. So those are the simple things you can do, and of course I noticed that you also preparing for her next trip already with the prearranged 49-day. So
Yes.
it's a good thing to do. So since you committed to that, you can tell her, that have no worry. You can tell her this, that after she passes on, she will receive help. Okay, she has nothing to worry about. So now it's up to you to spend quality time with her, to show her your love. That's what you can
That's
do
easy.
to help her out. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Master. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Anyone else? When you die, it's going to be frightening. Okay, but because after you pass away, you will experience a lot of trepidations from losing your ability to see. So you only see darkness. You cannot see anything, and there's a lot of your past creditors come and bother you and so forth. Okay, so that's why a lot of people get in trouble after they die. They can be very powerful, they can be very successful, very famous, and very rich, but after they die, none of that can help them. Okay, so you can make sure you reassure your mother not to be fearful, and that tell her that when it's time for her to go, okay, you make sure you call us, you let us know so that we can give her protection and make sure that she's shielded from all these the unnecessary harassment that most of you, people who die, will experience. Okay, the Buddhists actually, that's part of Buddhist wisdom, by the way. It's in that we know all these phases, and that's why the Buddha, in all his compassion, taught us so many tools, gave us so many tools for us to rehearse and practice and hone our skills so that we can use them to help you. So I'm telling you this because we help in the past already a lot of people. So we know. So we know what happens. All right, it's real.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, but also finally, you show her your love and try to comfort her, but tell her that not to worry and not to make sure that you don't get emotional and don't get too attached to her, so that she can go to the Pure Land. After this, she can go to a much nicer place, and where she'll never suffer ever again. Okay, that's a gift you can give her. Try talking like that and see if it works.
I'm going to try. Thank you.
All right, very good. All right, anyone else? Okay, since you're so excited to learn such an important lesson today, I give you time to process it, since you don't have any questions. Okay? All right. We stop here today? All right. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Someone raise your hand. Go ahead.
마스터 감사합니다. 오늘 말씀이 굉장히 제 마음에 많이 와 닿았습니다. 집중력을 향상시키는 결과보자를 하면서 도대체 어떻게 지혜가 깨달아질 것인가 하고 막연하게 생각했던 의문이 풀렸습니다. 물론 오늘 말씀이 너무 심오해서 좀 더 생각해보고 다듬어야 되리라고 생각하지만 오늘 가르침에 대해서 정말 감사드립니다. 포기하지 않고 끝까지 수행하도록 노력하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
제가 앞부분 조금 못 들었는데 말씀이 잘 이해 안 가는 부분이 오늘 법문을 통해서 이해가 됐다, 앉아서 진전할 수 있다, 그런 얘기였나요? 그렇죠?
네, 아까 마스터께서 집중하고 지혜, 그러니까 concentration, wisdom, and morality 세 가지 말씀을 하셨는데 우리는 주로 concentration만 포커스 두고 결과부터 수행을 계속하고 있잖아요. 제가 그걸 하면서 아픈 거 참는 그것에 몰두하면서도 이런 과정을 통해서 어떻게 지혜가 얻어지는 걸까 막연하게 궁금했었어요. 그런데 아까 마스터께서 그렇게 네가 고통을 참고 그걸 견뎌나가면서, 그러니까 스트럭을 해나가는 과정에서 그 문제를 해결해 나가는 방안이 자꾸 생겨서 그게 자연스럽게 지혜가 얻어지는 것이라고 말씀해 주셨잖아요. 그래서 그 부분이 조금 의문이 풀렸고요.
잠깐만요. 제가요 끊고 통역하고 좀 할게요. 왜냐면 너무 지금 바빠가지고 잘 안 돼요. So I translate the front part. I had to do the audio video, so I had to ask her again. Sorry. So she struggled while practicing the sitting lotus posture so far, and she was so focused on concentrating, learning how to develop concentration power. She was wondering how to develop the wisdom. So today's lecture, you talk about developing wisdom and the morality all together helped her to understand better. So she's very thankful and grateful. And the way you explain how she struggles, and then you will help her to find good solutions, how to solve the problem, will develop the wisdom. So she understands much better. It resolved her curiosity and questions in her mind.
Okay, very good. Thank you for your feedback. Okay, the one thing though I like to remind all of you is do not miss out on the opportunity to go to the temples, whether in Seoul, whether it's in Jewel Conquer, Jewel Mountain, or any way place we have here, because when you come here, you receive a lot of help, a lot more help than you think. Okay, so it's far better for you we encourage you for your practice is to do it regularly every day. Train yourself 1 hour every day. That's the minimum for your maintenance. Okay, that's fundamental. If you don't take care of yourself, who else will? Okay, you have to take care of yourself. This is part of your important daily work. You have to take care of yourself. You cannot neglect it. If you neglect it, you will ruin your health, and your performance at work will suffer. So you have to fundamentally take care of yourself. I went to Korea a few times. I was amazed on how clean the Korean temples are. Everywhere I went, even the parking lot is squeaky clean. I drove into the parking lot, and actually the tires are squeaking. I said, say what? In America, that's impossible. Okay? It's shocking to me, James, to go into a Korean parking lot underground, and it's so clean, even cleaner than my own house. It's incredible. Okay? So you spend so much time, they spend so much time cleaning the garage and the streets and the temples. Okay? You take care of maintaining your temples and your parking lot. You don't take care investing in maintaining your own health. It's so critical. You have to take care of yourself. Okay? So trust me, the 1 hour a day is just maintenance. Very important for you. Give you the balance, okay? And give you the strength to be able to have a healthy and happier life, and you can contribute in your work, okay? I know, for example, in our Asian cultures, the women are supposed to make sacrifices, okay? Otherwise, you're not a good woman, you're not a good mother, okay? Make sacrifices after you sit for an hour. Okay. Don't sacrifice your sitting, your self-help maintenance, because you cannot give as much. Let's face it. Okay. It's so weird. The Asian culture, the women are supposed to suffer. They're supposed to take losses, but fundamentally, you have to take care of yourself first before you can give. If you don't have much to give, how much, what can you do? So you have to maintain your health. You have to sit for the 1 hour right there. And that's even much more important than for you Korean people to keep your parking lot so clean. That's shocking to me. Okay, so absolutely, you have to sit for 1 hour just to maintain your health. keep your head clear. Okay? It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, you need to do that. And then if you have a chance, this is why we try to open way places to make it more available to you so that it's easier for you to go get some help, okay, closer to your home, okay? So go to the way places, and these people that are at our way places, the skills are, I assure you, far higher than you. So when you go there, you receive a lot of help. It's well worth the time, trust me, and the expenses and so forth, okay? Because you save yourself so much time, your health will improve and so forth, okay? So go get help. You know, you should practice at home. That's a good thing, regularly like this. But this online class is a good thing as well. But do not overlook the fact that you can go, if you can, to these way places, and I highly recommend that this is one of the things too. That's why we try to have more space for you, so that you can go to our temples and stay there overnight or something, so that you have a stretch of time where you can take care of yourself and work on yourself. Okay, and that's our community service. Okay, meaning that this is what we do to show our gratitude to society, to the community, to the country for tolerating us, for helping us in the past. So now we pay. It's a payback for us. Okay, so it's not. That's why. To me, it's shocking when I try to go to Seoul and I look at the space there that in the big cities where it's not possible to do that. But in the future, I promise you, we're gonna have space for you to go there to stay overnight, so that you can get help and because when you are able to do that, you come back energized and with more samadhi, with more wisdom, you actually are making greater contributions to society, okay? So we all benefit from it, okay? So that's our goals, by the way, children, is that we're gonna have way places where we can help these people longer stretches, okay, of time, free of charge, okay? And actually, along we are here on this topic, I'm very grateful that we may be very small, but in the past, we have a lot of people who volunteered their time, donated a lot of stuff in order for us to be able to share with you. Okay, yeah. And that's the spirit. You know, we should be able to be willing to help each other, because it's the right thing to do. That's it. Okay? Yeah. All right. So make sure you go to these way places. In Korea, we have finally were able to have a branch temple in Korea. So take advantage of it if you can. Go to Jewel Mountain, the abbot there, and people there will be able to help you. Okay. And hopefully in the future we also will have more space in Jewel Conch in Seoul as well, so that you can take a break for several hours or a few hours, so that you can take care of yourself. Okay, because nothing we ask of you. You will go there and recharge and work on yourself. Okay? That's the commitment. All right? Anything else? And that's what I feel that I'm very grateful, by the way, to the United States. They gave me that. I'm very grateful for that, because I came here as a foreign student, but actually I became a refugee very quickly, and this country was most gracious, most generous to me personally. Okay, so that spirit there, I feel it's a very Mahayana, very, very Buddhist, even though most Americans are Catholic and Christians. Okay, but anyway, it's the spirit, the same kind of spirit that our teachers, our patriarchs gave as well. So that's the least we can do to honor their memories. Okay? All right. Anything else? Over time already? Okay. Over time, but they're so quiet. All right. Thank you, everyone. We see you next time. Okay? Bye-bye.